The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
You can play on your tablet too.
I am getting so sick and tired of these dorky nitwit developers, these people in the video game industry. When it's not video game journalists, it's video game developers and publishers. And, you know, first it was Battlefront, then it was Battlefield 5. I mean, it is out of control. You cannot escape just how just fucked up things have gone in the world. Everything is completely ruined. Now, I talked about how SJWs are ruining gaming. But also, the developers themselves, when they're not acting as SJWs, this is not a video about social justice warrioring or anything like that. This is about how they treat their customers. Now, of course, we've talked about, you know, about a year ago when Battlefront 2 came out. We talked about microtransactions and how they're just trying to get the money out of you. You can't get to certain parts of the game unless you spend more and more money. I mean, you're already spending $60. Yes, I know. You know, people are going to say, Brad, you know, when you were a kid, you know, video games are even more expensive. Sometimes games were like $70 even. So they were even more money. But, you know, you could get into hundreds of dollars of transactions. And you could say that is your own priority. And I've already talked about how I don't bother with DLC a lot of the time. But that's not the case. Like I said, the Sonic Mania Plus was probably the first DLC I bought for a game, I said, since Resident Evil 5. So, but that's not the point here. The way they treat their customers nowadays, they mock people, they spit in their face with horrible business practices. But now we're going to talk about Diablo Immortal and how they treated their fans at BlizzCon. And this whole presentation that they did, holy shit, they spit in these people's faces. So they unveil this new game. Blizzard gets up and they, you know, people think that Diablo 4 is going to be announced. You haven't heard anything about Diablo since, you know, the Switch release of Diablo 3. So, you know, I'm not a huge Diablo fan. I like the game. I've played a great deal of Diablo 3, and I played some of the old school Diablo games on the PC. And it's a good game. And, you know, I've been meaning to finish up Diablo 3. I still have it saved on my computer. I don't have the disc, unfortunately. I played, my ex actually had that game. And I still have it, like, saved on my computer. So, you know, all I would need to do is probably purchase the disc or just download it. Whatever the case may be. I'm going to probably get to it one day. I might actually just buy it on like my Xbox One or something like that. Just play it on the console where I feel a little bit more comfortable. But, you know, they mock their fans by, you know, they wanted something really bad for PC. Most people who were into Blizzard games, who were attending this show, they really wanted to hear something about the future of Diablo. And they got the future all right. And it was a mobile game by the name of Diablo Immortal. Now, you know, mobile games are just something I don't do. If I'm using my phone, it's either to go on the internet, check Instagram, or listen to music predominantly. You know, probably the most used app on my phone is Spotify. But, you know, games, I've only gotten into them a little bit. I just don't like it. There's mobile games, I just can't get into it. I just won't do it. It also wastes a lot of battery on my phone. So I'm just not going to play those types of games. And judging by the reaction, a lot of people felt the same way. A lot of people use their phones, you know, and they game a little bit on it, but they're very casual. It's usually people who don't, own consoles or not into video games. There's games like Candy Crush have gone on for years and years, and that's all fine and well. If you're into that, spectacular. But this is a hardcore fan base. This is Blizzard. We're talking about these fans, they're hardcore. They buy super rigged up PCs, spend $3,000 making sure they have the most updated sound and graphics card. They're in this for the long haul. They're in this preparing their PCs for the future of gaming. So they expect something big. And, so when you're going to announce to them that you're not going to do shit for the PC and you're just going to give them a mobile game, people are going to be pretty disappointed. And the thing is, it's like, don't they already know their hardcore audience? The PC master race is, a stark raving mad and very, very profitable, target demographic. That's what I'm saying. Blizzard is predominantly a PC gaming company. I mean, we're talking about the people that came up with World of Warcraft, for God's sakes. I mean, they own a large part of this PC market. So, they took the easy way out. They basically reskinned an old game that was made in China. They're basically going to outsource this game. They're not really developing it. They just reskinned it. And they made it into a Diablo game, which is pretty fucking lazy as shit. I'm saying a lot of these companies, they're hard at work on games, but like during downtime, it's kind of like a company like Valve. They might own Steam and everything, but they're sitting on their asses doing nothing right now, pretty much just collecting money. And more power to them. They found a market that works for them, and they've really maximized their dollar when it comes to that. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about Blizzard. And this is all they basically had in the way of Diablo. And people wanted, at least a little something, like some DLC, an expansion pack, something. And you could see the reactions from the fans. They were like, is this some type of, out-of-date joke? Are we going to get a PC port? And, the little, snarky nerd on stage, he's like, oh, what's the matter, guys? You don't have cell phones? And the whole crowd is booing them. So out of touch, and they're condescending and saying, oh, what, you don't have a cell phone? I mean, like, what? It's kind of like with Battlefield 5, when the developers basically told their audience to go fuck themselves when they says, oh, you don't like having women in your video games? Like, people were very unhappy that they put women on the front lines and in World War II, and it was like, a lot of people were unhappy because they were going to do some SJW bullshit, and like, people were just rebelling against it. We don't want that type of commentary in our games, and, they shot themselves in the foot. It was like one of the lowest pre-ordered games, in recent memory. I mean, it's selling horribly, and rightfully so, is because, it's not just for what you put in the game, but when you treat the customer like a fucking asshole. I mean, when you depend on people to buy your game, to get a profit, and you're going to tell those people to basically go fuck themselves, like, yeah, it's basically like, no, fuck you, we're not going to buy your product. And that's basically what's going to go on here, is no one's going to download this game. I think people are pretty much fed up with, microtransactions, which has always been a top selling point for these games. People are just not having it. And after that reaction and the I don't give a shit attitude, and you don't have a cell phone, that people are just not going to deal with this game. They're going to abandon it. And I'll tell you something, the Diablo fan base is dedicated. Most of these Blizzard, fans, like I said, for many months, I actually got into World of Warcraft, and I thought it was great. I even, did a couple of videos on it, and, I was really getting immersed. I mean, that was one of the most immersive couple of months in my life when I was playing World of Warcraft. And also, I did get pretty immersed in Diablo 3. Probably not on the same level. I'm actually not really as close as something about, if you've never played World of Warcraft before, it's like a really addictive experience. And, you know, I'm pretty good when it comes to breaking addictions and taking breaks, because I will get sick of things after a while. And, you know, perhaps one day I will return to that game. But, you know, that's how it is for Diablo fans. Some people are super hardcore, and that series has been going on for a long time, since the 90s. So, you know, they had a good thing going, you know, but obviously they've got new people in there. These guys are super young, you know, obviously, you know, they're millennial, you know, SJW types. And even though what they're doing is not a brand of social justice by getting up there, you know, but the thing is, like, the attitude behind it. It's like, this is how they treat the people who came to see their game, you know, to see what they had to offer at Blizzard. And when it came time to showcase the Diablo franchise, they basically told these people, oh, we don't give a shit. Just purchase some in-game transactions on the, you know, on the mobile game, and that's it. Spin the face, don't show anything else, don't have anything else prepared. And when people try to legitimately talk to you and voice their concerns, you treat them, you know, like they're a bunch of children, and you treat them with disrespect. You know, they deserve to make no money off this game. I mean, these people right here, this should be the last time that they're allowed to present, because the way they treated the audience here was fucking despicable. I mean, you know, when you're getting a reaction like that, it's probably not a good idea to be condescending. I mean, they totally lost the crowd. The crowd rebelled. And then you're going to take it one step further, you know, and just like egg them on with your, you know, snarky, ridiculously condescending attitude. You know, this is becoming more and more commonplace. Every single time they have a convention or a show or something like that, you know, where they're showcasing a game or there's some type of backlash on the internet, it's like, these are your customers. If they have a concern, you know, talk to them like they're human beings. Talk through it, you know, offer alternatives. Try to learn from your mistakes. Try to learn as a developer. Instead of, you know, you want to still push that agenda anyway. You're going to do it no matter what. I swear to God, like, this type of stuff didn't happen years ago. Now, more than ever, like, people are really insistent. They have, like, terrible relations with their customers when it comes to being a company. And, you know, they don't want to listen to the fans. You know, they claim to want to listen to the fans. They have all these social media accounts. They have Twitters. And what do? They're deleting comments. It's one of the most disliked trailers on YouTube. It's ridiculous. You know, and they're going to keep steamrolling ahead. They're going to release this game. It's going to do poor numbers. And they're going to sit back, and I guess they're going to just be proud of themselves because they did what they wanted to do anyway. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. As long as they got to do what they wanted to do, they're happy. It doesn't matter the backlash and how unhappy they made the people and how that's going to affect their business in the future. Like, when they do finally release Diablo 4, they're probably going to maybe look back on this day. People are not going to forget this. You know, a company, it used to be about PR. Now it's like a lot of these companies don't even seem like they give a shit. As long as they make every last dollar they can, they don't realize that when you destroy your public relations and your relationship with the customer who is providing that money for you, you don't understand, like, there's people that have played since the first Diablo who are, you know, still there as customers. They're not going away. That wasn't such a long time ago. It might seem like a long time ago, but it really isn't. It's still some of the same customers out there. And they might even be, you know, trying to get their sons or daughters into these games, you know, younger brother and sisters or cousins, whatever the case may be. So you're affecting the future of your company. You're affecting future games within the series by not treating your customers with the proper respect. And so, you know, whether it was EA or in this case Blizzard, it doesn't matter, because you know, no matter what the company is, you know, you're supposed to respect your customers. And by treating them like giant piles of shit, right to their faces, no less. I mean, at least that was on the internet. Here, it's like they were talking to live people there during the Blizzard the presentation, and they just basically, I mean, they might as well just hacked up a loogie and spit right in their faces, because that's pretty much what they did. And you know, I know what to tell you guys. That's basically, you know, this is getting spiraling out of control. I'm seeing this more and more of these types of stories. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up so other people can enjoy it. If you hated what I had to say and maybe you like what Blizzard did here, I don't know why you would, then you can hit the thumbs down and tell me why in the comments. But click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Subscribe as well. Check out some of the other videos I have posted here. And until next time, guys.